Troy Murray against Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk gets the draw to Natras, who had a strong game on Monday night at Chicago Stadium. Manson behind his own net along the boards for Thomas. Thomas can't get it out. Natras keeps it in. His shot is blocked. It bounces down the ice, and Vernon is going to play it off to the boards. He leaves it there for McCowan, then decides to try and get it out himself. However, he can't do it. Here's an opportunity for the Blackhawks, but they can't control the puck inside that Calgary line. A long shot ripped wide of the net as Keenan is making a quick line change. Roberts trying to catch them unawares, and he attempted to drop it off for Nieuwendyk, but he couldn't get a shot away. McInnes lets it go. Saved by Chevrier, and the puck is knocked to the boards where it's picked up by Hudson. Ahead to Dirk Graham. Graham with a long shot off the glass, high above goaltender Mike Vernon. Conroy pinching in, keeps it in. Van Dorp pokes it behind the net. Hudson behind the goal, looking out front. Sutter unable to get a shot away. It comes to the corner again to Sutter. It's knocked off his stick. Mullen to the line to Patterson. He gets it out. Now Mullen moves down the ice. Otto going for the net. The shot taken by Mullen, and the save is made by Chevrier as the puck, the net is knocked off its supports.
Let's have a look and see who the distractions are for tonight's game. The Flames are going with the same lineup. And you can see those four players are out, although Mark Hunter practiced today with a playing cast on and may be ready if Game 6 is necessary. For the Hawks, Creighton and Vince Gillette are in. Noonan and Basson are out. So Mike Keenan did make 2 changes, hoping to get a positive reaction and get his Hawks going. He told me this morning, he said, not only will we win tonight, Harry, we'll be back here for Game 7 on Sunday.
Well, Keenan was in a similar situation in 1987, going into Edmonton trailing 3-1 when he was coaching the Philadelphia Flyers. His team won by a score of 4-3, went home to win 3-2, and then lost the deciding game of that 87 final by a 3-1 count in Edmonton on the 31st of May. That, by the way, is the latest the Stanley Cup has ever been decided. Mullen drops it off, the shot right on by Mercer. Yanni along the boards for Gilbert. Knocked down by Gilmore. Over to Patterson. He was looking behind his back for Mullen. He missed him with the pass. Manson brings it out. He has Savard on the wing. He can't find him with that pass. Larmer knocks it in, and Merson has to go back after it as the Hawks make another change.
Well, Denny Savard threw up 5 times before Game 4 and never played anywhere near the way he can and usually does. Of course, under those circumstances, who would?
At the line, it's touched, and it's offside with Thomas in ahead of the play.
Steve Thomas played his best game of the playoff, I thought, in Game 4, and had a glorious chance to win the game in overtime. This is his 37th playoff game in his career. He's got 29 points. So you can see that he's a fairly efficient producer of points in the playoffs, although in this series he has but 1. Great speed, great shot, and he's thrown some bone-crushing body checks as well.
Big problem for Steve Thomas is getting back in peak condition. He had that shoulder operation on the 20th of January. Didn't get back until the playoffs. You can ride the bike and skate, but you still are not in the same shape as you would be if you were playing. Fired in by Calgary. It rides around on the dasher. Poplinski pokes it back at the net for McDonald. He bumps there with Conroy. Leaves it for Joel Otto. Back to the line. Ramage couldn't keep it in. Chevrier misplayed it. Otto attempted to deflect it back to the point, but McCrimmon wasn't in position. Rink wide for Poplinski. It's blocked by Sutter. Working against McCrimmon, a long shot. Vernon steers that to the corner. Ramage off the boards for McDonald. He couldn't do anything with it, but it's brought back in offside by Vince Gillette. It's still scoreless as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first period. The Campbell Bowl, first presented in 1968 in recognition of Clarence S. Campbell, the NHL president from 1946 through 1977. Will the Calgary Flames hold it high tonight? Mike Keenan and his Chicago Blackhawks certainly hope not. Yanni back to the net. Natras will keep it in at the point. He lets the shot go right on. Big rebound. McCowan with a shot. It's blocked. The spin around shot fired wide by Fleury. Penalty coming up.
I think Bob McGill is going to get it for a holding, as he had a hold of McClellan in front of the Chicago net. Especially here at home. They had a great one during the season, but it seems to me all around the league, the penalty killing's outplaying the power plays.
Is that due to familiarity, Harry?
I think it is. When you play a team 7 times in 13 days, or have the chance to do that, by the end of about game 3, there are no surprises, especially on the special teams.
McInnes lets the shot go. Chevrier the save. Otto in front of the net. He was looking for a rebound, but Chevrier smothered the puck.
Well, remember, Otto was tossed out of game 4, and the way he turned away from this after he was hit, when Chevrier got it, makes you think he's under severe instructions to stay out of trouble tonight. Watch the hit he takes here. 1 slash in the back, 1 cross-check across the chest, and then he just vamoosed and got himself out of trouble. Alain Chevrier was terrific in game 4, except I think he told everybody what we all saw. He should have had the overtime goal.
Well, Al McInnes felt that perhaps Chevrier was ready for a howitzer, and he really didn't get all that much on the game-winning shot in overtime. McInnes generally recognized as possessing one of the hardest shots in the entire league.
And you know, it wasn't a shot from the blue line. McInnes' feet were on the top of the circle when he let the shot go.
Gilmore gets the draw back to McInnes. McInnes to Gilmore. Back to McInnes. There's the shot right on the rebound. And that's knocked to the boards. Fleury has it. Into the corner for Otto. Back to the line. McInnes. He lets the shot go. Another save by Chevrier. The puck loose in front of the net. The Hawks trying desperately to get it out of there. Gilmore with a shot. The rebound bounces away and over the stick of Gilmore. Graham to Troy Murray, trying to get around Fleury. And Fleury rides him off the puck. Otto comes back. 1:08 remaining in the penalty. Pass intercepted by Troy Murray and dumped down the ice.
Remember, in game 4, what hurt Chicago as much as anything was the fact they had to kill off 4 penalties in the first period. And Graham, Savard, and Larmer logged way too much ice time too early in that game.
Fired in by Calgary. Chevrier leaves it behind the net for Manson. Manson lugging it out, gets away from Roberts. Roberts in pursuit again as Manson works to the corner. Manson flips it out front. Vernon goes down as he makes the save. Fleury comes back. Toulouse on the wing for Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk centered it, nobody there. Back to the line for McInnes, to the other side to Fleury. Fleury with the shot, it's just wide. Back of the net, Roberts trying to dig it out. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. McInnes with a shot. That sails wide. Hudson along the boards bumps his man Lube off the puck, and Manson fires it down the ice.
Well, the Flames have had 8 shots on goal, and 5 of them have come from their point men. And that's a dangerous practice. Chevrier saw all those, but he's not going to see them all if the Hawks don't shut down those point shots.
Penalty has expired. On that power play, 4 shots. Here's Vincelette with a quick shot as he stole the puck and walked in. Comes around the boards for Keith Brown. He plays it behind the net. Ramage trying to move it, gets it ahead to Tim Hunter, who takes a hit from Vincelette. Conroy with a shot. It doesn't get through. Ramage bumped along the boards again. Now Gilmore comes up with the puck. He's trying to slide it ahead to Hunter. He's battling there with Vincelette. Gets it for McClellan. It lays loose in front of the net. Hunter with a great opportunity. They scramble and it just goes wide. Hunter with Chevrier down, tried to get it up. He couldn't.
Well, the score could easily be 2 or 3-0 now for Calgary. But the point is, it's 0-0. And we saw this in game 3 as well, or game 4. Calgary burned up all their chances early and then had to go to overtime to win it.
Fired in by the Flames. Back after it is McGill. Around the boards for Thomas. He had some problems picking it up, but did get it out to Dirk Graham. Graham trying to go around McCowan. And Vernon comes out of the net to move it over to the wing to McDonald as the net is knocked off its supports with 13:28 remaining in this still scoreless opening period. Face off to the left of Mike Vernon. 10-3 the shots on goal in favor of the Flames. From the faceoff, Troy Murray attempted to go to the net against Joe Otto. He was unsuccessful. Yanni back in his own zone. Up ahead to Troy Murray. Murray can't do anything with it. Yanni gets it again. But he's checked. And Matthews takes over at center ice. Long lead pass for Roberts. Shot saved. The puck laying there. And Chevrier got to it. It just trickled between the pads. Laying there tantalizingly for a Calgary forward, but Chevrier got a glove on it first.
Well, Roberts was the only Calgary player that was anywhere near the net. He takes the pass right here from Natras and is in the clear, but off to the side and lets it go. Look how far out Chevrier was. He was well into the face-off circle. So Roberts couldn't see the net, I guarantee you. Chevrier made the save and then finds the puck as it starts trickling toward the net. McDonald's very late coming in, and the face-off to the right of Chevrier on a good stop and a good shot, and the best play of them all was the pass by Natras.
Along the boards, the Hawks managed to clear the zone. Going back after it is McInnes. He's being chased by Hudson. He plays it up off the boards into the neutral zone. Lou knocked it back into Chicago territory. But Murray gets it out, ahead to Hudson. Hudson trying to go across ice to Gilbert. It lays loose. And as Murray raced in, Vernon came out of the net to dive on top of it.
Well, we saw Bob Murray, number 6, jumping into the rush there and being beaten to the puck by Mike Vernon. I think the Hawks have to use their defensemen a little more often than they have on the offense. Doesn't mean you have to take a chance. It just means that when your team clears the zone, one of the 2 defensemen gets on their high horse and tries to catch up to the forwards to see if he can turn a 3-on-3 into a 4-on-3. And here comes Murray on that play right here. Now, if that puck hadn't gone as quickly to Vernon, Murray was home free.
Face off to the right of Vernon. He has 3 shutouts this playoff year, 2 of them against the Vancouver Canucks. He opened this series by blanking the Hawks 3-0. Merzen flips it down the ice. Going back after it is Murray. Roberts also racing out there. The attempted clear failed. They score! Nieuwendyk!
David Manson, soft, lazy little pass. Roberts put a little pressure on the goaltender. Manson gave it to Loeb, who gave it to Nieuwendyk. And Nieuwendyk, although I know it hurts him to smile, he had a little smile on his face when he put this in to give his team goal number 1 as he just redirected it through the legs of Chevrier. Nieuwendyk, don't forget, got 7 stitches in the tongue in Game 4. And I want to know, Don, whether he now speaks with forked tongue.
He has the opening goal of this game. And a big goal it is in the neutral zone. We have McClellan going at it. Is that Sutter?
Yes, Wayne Sutter. He took about 4 to start, but like most Sutters, wouldn't go down, wouldn't concede, and got the last one in. McClellan has a reputation of being a very good fighter, but doesn't go to the post very often, and I think he gave you a little demonstration of those fighting skills right there.
Goal by Nieuwendyk coming at 7:29 from Lou. McInnes has it. He lets it go. It deflects off the stick. Picked up by Graham. Graham ahead to Van Dorp. He knocks it in. It's loose in front of the net. Saved by Vernon as he took that away from Graham. Back comes Fleury. He has Hunter with him. Fleury's knocked off the puck by Manson. Manson plays it to an open right side. It's fired right back in by Gilmore. The Hawks have had problems in the first period in all the games in this series, with the exception of Game 2, where they scored those 3 goals in the first 6 minutes. But Calgary has, in the other 3, enjoyed a wide territorial edge, and they have also had a big advantage in shots. Tonight, they lead in shots 12-4 on the scoreboard, 1-0. Colin Patterson was handing out cigars today after the birth of his daughter on Sunday. It's dumped in. Yanni has it for Chicago. He moves it to Murray. He gets it out of the zone, but Calgary fire it right back in.
Well, Calgary certainly have got the edge in skating as well as on the scoreboard here in the first half of period 1.
Dumped in by Thomas. Gilbert trying to center it. It goes off the skate, comes around the boards, picked up by Mullen. He has Gilmore with him. Over to Gilmore. He takes a hit from Bob Murray, and the Chicago defenseman starts back with the puck. Can't find anyone to pass it to. He simply dumps it down into the Calgary zone. Chicago making a change as Natras takes it back at his own goal. Natras with a lead pass. He missed McDonald. It slides all the way down the ice. Murray back to touch it for an icing call against Calgary. 10 minutes and 30 seconds remain in period 1. Joel Otto. Who else in the face-off circle against Savard? From the face-off, Larmer gets it back to Manson. A shot knocked down in front. Otto comes back. Roberts to McDonald. He's knocked off the puck by Manson, and Bob Murray has it for Chicago. Murray up on the wing to Larmer. He drives it in. It's caught by Vernon. Savard racing in after it, tried to get it out front. He almost took it away from the Calgary goaltender. Yanni with a shot. That's just wide. Neuendijk puts it back at the net. It takes a bounce off the glass, and the Calgary Flames are forcing it there. The race for that loose puck as it's fired down the ice. Loeb is being hindered by Yanni, and Gill has it in his own zone. Up along the boards, kept in by Fleury. His shot goes off the leg. At the line, they battle for it, and it's knocked out by Roenick. Now Jamie McCowan moves it to the line. He stopped there. Here comes Chicago. An opportunity for Graham. Just out of his reach. Graham puts on the brakes. Tried to center it. Thomas going for the net. Knocked the goal off its supports. Harry, an interesting story about Jeremy Roenick. You suggested on our telecast the other night that you thought he might be playing with too long a stick. Mike Keenan, in looking at the tapes, heard your comments, went to Roenick. He told me today that for the last game, he cut a half-inch off that stick.
I wonder if that was why he was the most dangerous Hawk, I thought, offensively. And I said it all through Game 4, 18 years old, playing the way he did Sunday night in Chicago, or Monday night in Chicago, had to be the most encouraging thing for the Hawk future. The American boy who decided not to go to college, but to play junior hockey in Hull, and then joined the big team, and he's still in his 18th year.
Along the boards, it's picked up by Mullen. He comes out with Gilmore and Patterson. Fired in. Patterson trying to pick it up and center it. He's taken in against the boards. Chevrier out of his net, playing it up high on the glass. McKinnis trying to keep it in. He can't against Dirk Graham. Merzen bangs it off the boards for McKinnis. He slips it ahead to Gilmore. Over to Mullen. Back to Gilmore. In front. Patterson can't reach it. Troy Murray has it now for Chicago. Rink-wide pass just beyond Dirk Graham. The Chicago captain and his teammates make a change. This is an icing call against Chicago with 8:49 remaining.
Well, Al McInnes is the best player on both teams in this series so far. And with the absence of Gary Suter, this young man picked up the slack in all departments and anchors a pretty steady and strong Calgary defense at the moment.
21 points so far in the playoffs. If you're wondering, the record for points by a defenseman in one playoff season, 1985, when Paul Coffey of the Edmonton Oilers had 12 goals and 25 assists for 37 points. McInnes with 21, and only Tim Kerr, who has 25, and Wayne Gretzky, who is out of the playoffs with 22, are ahead of him. Gilmore facing off against Savard to the left of Chevrier. The draw is won by Savard. He gets it to Manson. Too far for Larmer. Vernon out of the net to clear the zone. It's brought back in offside by Bob Murray.
Well, you know, both teams took different approaches to their travel from Chicago after Game 4. Calgary flew in yesterday morning, or yesterday early afternoon, did not practice. Mike Keenan decided his team would charter out right after the game. They got in here early yesterday morning at 3 a.m. They did practice early yesterday afternoon, and maybe by the middle of the third period, we'll be able to tell you which coach made the right decision on the travel plan.
Mike Keenan's practice wasn't really a grueling one, though. The players were all out there with the long-handed sticks. If they were a left-handed shot, they used a right-handed stick. They had a scrimmage. It was more of a fun thing than anything else.
Well, they had a nice jump in their practice this morning at the game day skate, I thought. Calgary scrimmaged again, which they did in Chicago, on the day after they don't practice, but the day they play. It worked once, and Chris is trying it again.
Primmon fires it in. Chevrier almost misplayed it. Again, the glass at the Saddle Dome does cause some unusual bounces. Chevrier has almost been fooled twice tonight. Roberts picks it up for McDonald. McDonald at backhander high over top of the net. He couldn't pick it up in his forehand to let his shot go.
The pass had a little ripple to it. Lanny had bobbled the reception slightly and therefore had to put it on the backhand and didn't get much on it.
McGill over to Yanni. Yanni was in the penalty box on Monday night when McKinnon scored that winning goal. Played up in the glass, kept in by the Hawks. A pass back to the point, deflected by McDonald. We're trying to get it back to Yanni, and McDonald anticipated the pass. Van Dorp runs into Tim Hunter, and Hunter is down. And then he touches the puck inside the line for an offside call, but he took a big hit there from Van Dorp.
And Tim Hunter's a proud guy. He didn't have an ounce of air in him, but he wasn't going to let the Chicago team see that that check hurt him at all.
McGill plays it around the boards, kept in by McCowan. His shot is blocked. Here's an opportunity for Dirk Graham. Vernon makes the save. Back comes Calgary. This is McClellan. McClellan one-handing it out front. Fleury just deflected it wide. First at one end, a big save by Vernon. And then Fleury just failing to convert that centering pass.
Dirk Graham got away on his own, and what a nice stop Mike Vernon made. Graham was being harassed. There's Hunter. It was just the air knocked out of him. You know what that feeling's like. And when you get it knocked out, when you're throwing the check, there's absolutely no air left. Here goes Dirk Graham. Natras chasing him, and Graham tries to get it up as Vernon sprawls, and he couldn't. Coming back the other way, McClellan gets outside Yanni and backhands a one-handed pass to Fleury, who got something on it, but I think it hit Chevrier in the shoulder. Two good chances, two good stops by two good goalies.
1-0. Calgary leads. A goal by Nieuwendyk at 7:29 of this opening period. We have 6:50 remaining. Nieuwendyk in the face-off circle against Troy Murray. Nieuwendyk gets the draw back to Merzen. Merzen fakes. Now he lets it go right on, and Chevrier has it caught up in his pads.
Well, that's about the 8th shot out of the 13th by the Calgary pointman. And I know the goalie will stop most of them if he can see him. And that one by Merzen was not a tough shot to handle. They won the draw, and then watch the Calgary Flames hold up Roenick and not let him out to give Merzen the extra time for the shot.
Merzen's play has improved this year, and Al McNeil has done a lot of work with the young defenseman. Flipped into the center ice area. Roenick trying to pick it up and knock it past McInnes and move in. He can't. It does come out front as it's centered by Hudson, but it's knocked down by McInnes. Fired out. Picked up now by Roberts. Roberts at the line. Leaves it there for Lou. Lou back to McInnes. A shot. Chevrier knocks that down. Back comes Vincelette. Vincelette with a long shot. Steered to the side by Vernon. Picked up there by McInnes as the Hawks make another change. Nieuwendyk, the goal scorer, flips it in. Back after it is Manson. Manson cuts in front of his own net. Plays it up into the neutral zone. Larmer couldn't handle it. It comes back into Chicago territory. Played off the boards. Back after it is Ramage. Ramage for Mullen. Mullen goes right wide. Intercepted by Larmer. He couldn't do anything with it. The Hawks keeping it in. A shot fired wide. Now it's brought out by Calgary, but Manson has it. He fires it in on the wing for Larmer. Larmer for Savard. Back to Larmer. A shot. It's wide. Graham along the boards. Gets it to Murray. Murray. He's bumped in against the glass by Patterson. Comes back to Manson. A shot off a skate to the far side. Larmer racing over there, trying to keep it in. And as it's fired on net by Murray, an offside call against the Chicago Blackhawks. Well, Brad McCrimmon was telling me today that his father Byron, after game 2, headed home immediately to Plenty, Saskatchewan, and started planting the crop on their 5.5 section farm. He said, I hope he gets it finished by the time the hockey season's over, so there isn't much work for me to do. And he said, Dad'll be watching the hockey game tonight. He has a television set in the tractor.
Well, I'd be watching too if Brad McCrimmon was my son. And Brad wants to know whether Byron thinks the furrows are a little too close together.
Picked up in the corner by Natras. He moves it ahead to Joel Otto. He gets away from a check. Tim Hunter obviously is okay. He puts it ahead to Joel Otto. Otto is tied up. The puck lays there. McDonald races in after him. McDonald bumped in against the boards. Creighton trying to move it out. He gets it ahead to Thomas. Thomas fires it in off the glass. The Hawks making another change as Natras goes back to pick it up. Chicago tonight, Harry, appears to be attempting to make line changes much quicker than they did in game 4. 4:42 remains in the period. Roanoke against Fleury. Got the draw. Over to Brown. He shoots it in. Natras being chased back at that. A penalty is coming up against the Chicago Blackhawks. Hudson will be going off. Flip down the ice. Back to touch it is Conroy. And there's the whistle. Gary Fraser making the call against Hudson of the Blackhawks.
Well, Hudson reached over the shoulder of the Calgary defenseman. I think it was McCowan, and hooked him from behind around the neck. Gary Fraser saw it and called it. Now, Gary Fraser bought Mike Keenan's house when Mike moved from Philadelphia to Chicago. And that was maybe a debatable call. Do you think there might have been a leak in the roof of that house?
Maybe a couple of leaks.
Well, it was a high stick, but not one. It's on Natras right here. But you see the stick slid up Natras' arm when Natras dipped his shoulder. It wasn't an attempt at all by Hudson to high stick in a harmful way. But, as Fraser says, charged me a lot of money for that house, Mike.
Well, Keenan wanted his team to avoid penalty problems in this opening period. His team trails by a score of 1-0. McInnes fires it in. Picked up along the boards by Mullen. He tried to get it back to the line for Ramage, intercepted by Larmer. He has it again. Larmer for Graham. Graham shot off a skate to the corner. He's backed and forth, trying to take it in against the boards. It's kicked free to the other side, and Ramage starts out for Calgary. Ramage drives it in. Manson in the boards in the corner, couldn't get to it. Mullen does. Back to the point for Ramage. He returns it to Mullen. Mullen tries to slip it through, gets it back again. Now decides to go to the point. Ramage with a shot right on. Chevrier makes the save, and the Hawks' Yanni puts it the length of the ice.
A good shot by Ramage, but no traffic in front. He shot it as soon as he got it, and the forwards did not get his forwards did not get a chance to flood the front of the net and screen Chevrier.
57 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hudson. Roanoke doing some aggressive forechecking for the Blackhawks while they're shorthanded. He's on top of McInnes. McInnes can't get it out. Now Roanoke working against Ramage. They still can't get it out as Murray takes a hit there from Fleury. Newendijk coming back to help out and has the puck. He's got the only goal of the game. 30 seconds remaining in the penalty. Ramage gives it to Lou. Savard forces him back. McInnes finally flips it down the ice. Going back after it is Brown. Brown bangs it off the boards out to center ice with 14 seconds remaining in the penalty. Good penalty killing by the Hawks on this Calgary power play. Broken up by Conroy. He clears the zone. That should run out the final seconds in the penalty to Hudson. 2:21 is the time left in the period. 1-0 Calgary in front. Denny Savard flips it through. He was looking for Sutter, but it was too far for him. Now Manson tries again. He has a big shot. He fires it wide off the end boards. Natras picks it up. He moves it ahead on the left side to Roberts. Roberts couldn't get it away from Creighton, and back to pick up the puck is Murray. Murray lost it. Tim Hunter has it back to the net. He ties up his man. McClellan is in there trying to free it, but it's picked off by Thomas. He gets it out of the zone with 1:49 remaining in the period. Creighton steals it. Takes it away from McCowan, kicks it down the ice into Calgary territory. Back after it is Natras. Natras flips it ahead to Roberts. Roberts coming in against Yanni. Roberts back to the line, slides it over to McCowan, a shot. That goes off a leg to the corner. Mullen lets it go. Blocked by Yanni. Mullen against the boards, tied up there by Yanni. Tried to get it out front, but Van Dorp comes away with it for Chicago. Van Dorp with a long shot off Natras. McGill racing in, tried to pick it up off the boards. It comes loose to Larmer. Larmer tried to get it out front. Van Dorp couldn't get a shot away. He fans as he took a swipe at it, and Mullen brings it out with Gilmore. Gilmore is checked by McGill as the puck goes to the corner. We're in the final minute of the period. Mullen with a shot as he spun around at the blue line, and Chevrier kicks that to the corner. Troy Murray back for Chicago. Dumps it in for Dirk Graham, gets it back again. Murray with a shot. That is kicked to the glass by Vernon. Murray gets it back to the point as Murray was racing in and bounced off his stick. Patterson racing after. Gilmore trying to catch up with the play, and it's deflected to the glass by Conroy. Mullen takes a hit in the corner from Troy Murray. Patterson up with the puck. He centers it. Gilmore right in the crease with Chevrier down. Couldn't get it in. Ramage with a shot through traffic. A penalty coming up here as Murray gets a hand on it and flips it ahead. Colin Patterson is going to be going off with 16 seconds remaining in the period.
It's an interference penalty as Patterson was trying to run some interference to free somebody as the Flames had the Hawks reeling with some forechecking, and for that he gets a penalty.
From the face-off, Yanni picks it up. At his own line, it's stolen by Loeb. Loeb puts on the brakes, then circles out into the center ice area with a long shot by Ramage right on. That will end period 1 here at the Olympic Saddledome.
Well, as in the 3 games Chicago lost, they started off very slowly, but in the last 6 minutes of the first period, Mike Vernon had to make some saves.
Just 1 goal in that opening period. Joe Nieuwendyk's 8th of the playoffs. Rob Loeb at 7:29. The Flames out shooting the Hawks 16-9. And so the score at the end of the first period is Calgary 1, Chicago 0. Flames leading 3-1, ahead 1-0. They start the second period a man short. Gilmore gets the draw back to McInnes. Colin Patterson is in the penalty box. 1:39 still remaining on that penalty picked up in the dying seconds of the first period. Here comes Jeremy Roenick. He has Graham on the wing. The pass to Graham gets away from Merzen. Gilmore comes in to poke the puck away from him. Larmer has it. Larmer looks, gives it to Graham. Graham trying to get it out front, gets it back again as it bounced off a skate. Over to Manson, to Larmer. Larmer with a shot right on. Vernon makes the save. Graham was in front of the net. Larmer steals it as the Flames can't get it out. Back to the line to Yanni. Roenick is bumped in against the boards. Merzen gets it, and he flips it down the ice.
The Hawks are a pathetic 2 for 27 on the power play, as they really miss Doug Wilson, who's not only the good point shot, but he's also the quarterback who often brings the puck up the ice. But we have to give credit to the great penalty killing of the Calgary Flames. It's been one of their strong suits all season.
Chevrier was almost guilty of another miscue and handling the puck in his own end. Watch how he flips it up, and who's there to grab it but Joe Mullen.
In David Manson got fouled up again. It cost him the first goal. Not a good pass from Chevrier to Manson, and even a poor one from Manson to Lou.
51 seconds remaining in the penalty to Patterson. The face-off to the left of Chevrier.
Adam Creighton playing tonight with a bad shoulder. He's not nearly 100%. He's like a lot of players in the playoffs. They play in the playoffs with the pain they put up with, but they wouldn't be asked to in the league, and they wouldn't.
Yanni back of his own net. Savard is out there trying to quarterback this power play for the Chicago Blackhawks. He gets away from one check. Savard moves to the corner. Savard slides it back to the line to Yanni. Over to Bob Murray. He gets it back to Yanni. Yanni with the shot. Knocked down in front. Picked up by Savard. Fired wide. Murray back at the line. Over to Yanni. Back to Murray. And the penalty coming up as Creighton and Ramage were pushing and shoving in front of that Calgary goal. And that results in a whistle by referee Terry Fraser.
Well, Adam Creighton was parked right in front of Vernon as the Hawks were controlling the puck in the power play for one of the few times in this series. And I think we're going to see two penalties here. One to Adam Creighton and one to Rob Ramage.
Joel Otto over to discuss the penalty with Terry Fraser, but to no avail as Rob Ramage heads off to the penalty box. 17 seconds remaining in the penalty to Colin Patterson.
A part of the strategy on part of the Flames, don't give Savard the neutral zone to carry the puck in a straight line. Here's a rush on the last power play. And see Luke come right up. Even though Savard beats him, he has to angle off to do it, and you take away some of the great speed he's got, and we've rarely seen it in this series, and these two coaches plus Tom Watt got that point through to their players.
Doug Risebrough is primarily responsible for the penalty-killing unit of the Calgary Flames, and he has to be extremely pleased with the way it has functioned during the playoffs, particularly this series against Chicago. Slashing Miners against Creighton and Ramage coming at 1:27 of this second period. Just 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Colin Patterson. Maybe one more rush by the Blackhawks. Here comes Murray. He gets away from the check but can't control the puck. Patterson coming out of the box, almost stole it. Gilmore has it. Gilmore couldn't get a shot away. Yanni in his own zone. Slides it ahead to Savard. Savard tried to leave it there. Picked off by Patterson. Patterson misses Mullen with a pass. Back comes Steve Thomas. He's checked by Mullen and goes down. And the play is broken up at the line. Yanni drives it in, and it deflects over the glass and out of play. We'll be back right after this message.
Three players for the Hawks, Conroy, Sutter, and Gilbert, were all in on that comeback by the Islanders over Washington. Remember the Pat LaFontaine goal at fourth overtime period.
Up on the right side for Brown. Brown gets away from Fleury, centers it, and Vernon is down. Hudson couldn't get a stick on it. Back comes Fleury. He has McClellan with him. Long shot, big rebound. Chevrier way out of the net as it's deflected to the corner. Moved up to the line to Van Dorp. He can't control it. Fleury gets it. Fleury is checked by Vincelette. Hunter gets it, however, the save by Chevrier. Another shot by McCowan. Fleury in front. Couldn't get a stick on it on that rebound, and it slipped down the ice. An icing call against Chicago.
Well, two good opportunities by the Flames on that little sojourn into the Chicago zone. Chevrier denied them both times, although I think Tim Hunter's shot may have hit the outside of the goalpost or the bottom of the net. Some careless play, actually, on behalf of the Hawks. And they can't seem to get much going in the way of offensive rush that scares you. There's the long shot, not very well handled, and Chevrier just beats McClellan to it. You watch Hunter here, 19. Fleury kicks him the pass. Hunter shoots it from a good location, but can't get it by Chevrier.
Behind the net, Lube for Roberts. He's tied up by Manson. Troy Murray leads the Chicago attack. 16:45 remaining in the period. Dirk Graham tied up along the boards by McInnes. The puck comes loose for Lube. He breaks out with Roberts. Brad McCrimmon trying to catch up in the play. Lube attempted to dump it in to Roberts at the blue line. It was broken up by the Hawks. Larmer fires it wide of the net. McInnes hammers it off the boards. Picked off by Graham. He brings it in offside.
That's a tough call for the linesman. Bob Hodges called it because Graham caught the puck in his hand. And the puck was over the blue line, but still in the air. And it happened right in front of Hodges. And any linesman will tell you, the further away along the blue line that the offside does or doesn't take place, the easier the call. That was a tough one. The linesman, I think, in that kind of a situation, find it easier to explain the offside to the Hawks than to the goal to the Flames if it goes in.
16:23 remaining in the period. 1-0 Calgary, leading on a first period goal by Joe Nieuwendyk. Back after it goes Brown, an icing call against Calgary.
One thing that's absent so far in tonight's game, early in period 2, is the bitterness and stick work and dirty checks that went on in games 3 and 4 in Chicago. In the game, I think both teams are cautious of taking a bad penalty that might cost the team the game. Colin Patterson, a Selke Trophy finalist, and a deserving one at that. And he's a welcome addition to this man's line. It allows Mullen and Gilmore to really operate offensively, knowing they've got number 11 Patterson back there making many of the defensive decisions for the forward line.
Hudson gets the draw back to the point. Yanni with a shot. It's just wide. Manson off the end boards, bumped there by Colin Patterson. Merzen takes a hit from Vincelette. The puck goes loose to Al McInnes. He moves it ahead for Mullen. Mullen fires it to the corner. Gilmore trying to race in there after it, but Chevrier beat him to the puck. In the neutral zone, Merzen flipped it ahead to Patterson. He couldn't do anything with it. Manson takes over. Manson tried to go rink wide, intercepted by the Flames. Patterson shoots it in. Yanni will try and get it out. Off the boards for Larmer. He tried to let it go for Savard. It's picked up by Graham. Graham comes to the line with Larmer with a shot right on. Puck picked up in the corner by the Hawks, centered, and Ramage takes it back of the net. Ramage to McClellan. He fires it out. Brown waits for his teammates to get back on side. Off the boards for Conroy. He shoots it to the corner. Larmer centering it. It deflects high and is knocked out by Otto. Brown bumped in against the boards by Mullen as he puts it down to the line. Now it's picked off by McClellan. McClellan has McDonald with him. The pass to McDonald. There's the shot just wide. McCrimmon racing in from the point. Having problems there against Dirk Graham. Manages to keep it in. McClellan centering it. Joel Otto is tied up. There's a penalty coming up. A penalty against the Chicago Blackhawks as Vernon now heads to the bench, and it's dumped in by Calgary, but as it's touched by Creighton, the whistle goes. And the penalty is assessed against the Blackhawks with 14:37 left in the period. Joe Nieuwendyk has scored the only goal. He'll go into the face-off circle. Fleury is back on the point with McInnes. Hudson gets the draw to the boards for Manson. Manson dumps it down the ice. Going back after it is McInnes. Vernon leaves it there for him. Lou looks for Roberts, too far. Manson bangs it around the boards and down the ice.
Well, the Hawks' penalty killing has been pretty good. Not quite as good as the Flames. Calgary's power play, one of the better in the league, certainly hasn't been converting them at the percentage they did all season in the playoffs here.
Fleury stopped at the line. He gets the puck back again on the right side for Roberts. He and Yanni battle for it in the corner. They tie each other up. Lube tries to dig it out. Yanni gets a stick on it. He fires at the length of the ice.
Well, this is the long change period for both teams. But when you're killing a penalty and you're not likely to get it out of your zone very often, the Hawk defensemen have a long trip to get to the bench.
Gilmore drives it in. Lube lets it go around the boards for Fleury, but Gilbert got there first. 48 seconds remaining in the penalty. This is Gilmore. Gilmore looking in front, tried to get it through to Otto, couldn't, but it took another strange bounce off the boards. Here comes Larmer. Larmer lost it to McCrimmon. Dirk Graham trying to tie it up along the boards. He's bumped there by Gilmore. Otto's in there as well. Gilmore pries it loose over to McCrimmon. 24 seconds remaining in the penalty. Deflected down into the Chicago zone. Bob Murray has it. Murray takes his time, and then he picks an opening. Creighton racing down after it. Creighton touches it, and it's an offside call against Chicago.
That surprised the officials because Creighton had come off the ice. Doug Gilmore 12 points in his last 8 games, and he's on a 3-game point streak with 5 points in the last 3. And Doug Gilmore really had to play a lot of hockey in Chicago. There's Poklinski, who hasn't seen action since the first period. He's got a bruised hip. And if it's a hip pointer, which means the muscle's squashed against the hip bone, doesn't seem like much of an injury, but if you've ever had one, it's a painful way to operate in hockey.
Poklinski went back to the Calgary dressing room for a good portion of that opening period, and he did not come out with the team to start the second period, but with 12:48 remaining, he has returned to the Calgary bench. 11 seconds left in the penalty to Steve Conroy. Hudson will take the face-off against Joel Otto. Otto positioning McCrimmon back on the blue line. He'll try and get the draw back to him. He succeeds, but McCrimmon couldn't get a shot away as it was knocked out by Troy Murray. Gilmore gets away from a check. Stopped at the line. Mullen gets the loose puck. Back to Gilmore. A shot that deflects high and up into the crowd. The penalty to the Blackhawks has expired with 12:30 left in the second period. Fleury facing off against Hudson. Hudson is waved out of the circle. Murray will come in for Chicago. Now Murray is moved out of there by Kevin Collins, and Steve Larmer comes in.
Trying everybody on this face-off.
Keith Brown takes it back to the net as Larmer won the draw. Played up along the boards, too far for Hudson. They battle in the neutral zone. Knocked down by Brown. He can't do anything with it. Fleury in across the line. A shot that's fired wide. It ricochets off the boards back to McCowan. On the right side for Hunter. He takes a hit from Conroy. Fleury with a shot from a bad angle. That's gloved by Chevrier, and the Hawks get it out. McCowan flips it up along the boards for McClellan. He took a swipe at it, but it's loose in the center ice area. Picked off now by Larmer. Larmer moving in, tried to slide it across. He was checked from behind by Lube. And Lube brings it in. And there's a penalty call coming up against Theron Fleury. So Chicago will have a power play with 11:41 left in the period. For a moment, I think Mike Keenan may have thought it was a misconduct penalty, and he can ill afford to lose Manson back on the point.
Well, that unsportsmanlike penalty, that's the name given to the penalty that the referee assesses when two guys won't either shut up or they won't stop shoving each other after they've been warned.
So Chicago on the power play, trailing by a goal. That first period tally by Joe Nieuwendyk at 7:29, continuing to stand up. Savard leaves it for Murray. Got it back to Savard. Savard over on the wing, broken up by Ramage. Ramage simply stood his ground at the Calgary blue line, waiting for Savard to come up the ice, and as he flipped it over on the left side, he grabbed it.
There's that challenge of Savard on the rush. Calgary does not want him roaring through the center zone at top speed.
Stolen by Joel Otto, trying to go around Murray. Chevrier down, takes it away from him. But referee Kerry Fraser has called a penalty against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, Joel Otto cut to the net on Bob Murray. And one of the problems that Bob Murray's had as a defenseman in this league, although he's been a good one, is he's not very big. I guess it was Steve Larmer that got the penalty. I thought it was Bob Murray. When Otto starts to the net, he's impossible to handle. Now, there's the trip right there, and a lousy trip. But watch Murray take a two-hander right here. That's the call I thought that Kerry Fraser was making, and it was a much more severe shot than the little half-trip Larmer came up with.
But it's the trip against Larmer that results in the penalty against the Blackhawks, nullifying the man advantage, and Brown goes back of his own goal. Too far for Roenick. Vernon had a little difficulty handling that puck in front of Dirk Graham. He almost miscued. Brad McCrimmon ahead to Nieuwendyk. He dodges a check. Lug can't pick up the pass. He has to circle back.
This is one of those long 4-on-4 skater situations. It's about the 5th time it's happened in this series, and it's a rare occurrence in the regular schedule.
Lug racing after it. Lug back to the line. Ramage spins around, lets it go. That was deflected to the boards. Now Adam Creighton comes back for Chicago. He has Graham with him. Creighton tried to flip it behind his back to Bob Murray. It was too far for him. McCrimmon brings it out to Ramage. 22 seconds remaining in the penalty to Fleury, and then Calgary will have a power play. Gilmore picks it up off the end board. Looking for Mullen. Mullen picked it up on the skates, but couldn't kick it ahead to his stick. Savard back in across the line, but McGill goes ahead of the play offside. Well, in 6 seconds, Calgary will have a power play for 42 seconds.
Well, Savard has a little more jump tonight, Don, but boy, the Flames are doing a good job on him, challenging him early, making him stop, turn back, or deke somebody, anything to reduce his speed. And I think they figure, the Flames do, that if Savard passes it, that the guy that gets it is a lot less dangerous than him. It's good strategy. It's worked almost to perfection the whole series.
Savard has 2 points, and no other player on Chicago has more in this series.
There's Dirk Graham with the only sign of violence that I've seen so far tonight, and we saw it every 15 seconds in Chicago on Monday night.
Donnie fires it in. Vernon leaves it there for McInnes. Fleury is back in the ice. He's way down at the blue line, looking for that lead pass that would have sent him in alone. Mullen goes rink wide for McInnes. McInnes in front of the net. Otto tried to deflect it. The puck goes loose, and it's fired out of the zone.
Now McInnes has started to make that play right there. Instead of teeing every shot up from the blue line, he risks some in when he knows Joel Otto's in front of the goalie. And they've scored some goals on that play this year.
Gilmore back to the point to Fleury. Fleury over to McInnes. Here's the shot, saved by Chevrier. The rebound dumped out.
The Flames have not been able to get to the rebound on the point shots all night long.
Larmer almost stole it, coming out of the penalty box in front for Troy Murray. He couldn't get a shot away. Loose puck at the side of the net, and Vernon grabs it in front of Graham. 8:47 is the time left in the second period. Savard against Gilmore to the right of Vernon. Savard gets the draw to the line to Conroy. He flips it in. Natras has it. Natras is tripped as he tries to move out and falls on top of the puck.
Well, Natras, like Ramage, like Merzen, have played their best hockey of the season in the playoffs. And there was some concern when you talked about the Calgary Flames as Stanley Cup contenders, whether their defense core was good enough over 4 rounds of playoffs, especially without Gary Suter. But it's performances that they've gotten from guys like Rick Natras that makes you think maybe they are good enough.
Tom Watt, the assistant coach, had an interesting theory on the improved play of people like Natras and McCown. He said during the regular season with Sutter in the lineup, or Suter in the lineup, I should say, they didn't get that much opportunity to play. Now they're relying on them more. Natras to Otto. He flips it in. Vernon out of the net to play it to the boards as Mullen was racing in there after it. Here comes Vincelette for Savard. Savard puts on the brakes, looks, wheels, trying to get away from McCowan. McCowan ties him up, and he comes up with the puck as well.
Well, Denny Savard on that very famous spinorama move that he does better than anybody in this league, with the possible exception of Gretzky, couldn't get shake loose from Jamie McCowan, who picked him up early and stayed with him.
McClellan fires it out of the zone as Yanni goes back after it. 7:55 remaining in the period. Yanni bangs it off the boards and out. McCrimmon trying to break up the play in the neutral zone. Flipped it over the glass and out.
And in Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC, the nature thing.
Fleury is hurt. Theron Fleury caught a stick in the face, it appeared, on that face-off, and he is caught. He got hit around the eye with a stick. He went down.
It was right after the draw, and Fleury went down right away. There was no, I guess Kerry Fraser is going to call Adam Creighton, who was the Hawks center, taking the draw against Fleury. Watch it right here. Oh. He tries to lift Fleury's stick up, misses his stick, and hits him right in the eye, or right in the eye area. And you can see Fleury is in a lot of pain here. It's an accident, that one, but this year there is no doubt about it, accident or not, 5 in a game. And Creighton knew it. Creighton felt badly about it. Here it is again. Now Creighton tries to lift his stick up right here, misses a stick, and hits him right in the eye, or in the eye area. Let's have another look at it here. Accident all the way, right there.
However, the rules specify a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. 7:43 remaining in the second period. And Terry Crisp and his Calgary Flames have an opportunity to perhaps put the game away right now.
And Mike Keane is asking for a meeting with Kerry Fraser, and he's getting one. And I'm sure he's saying that there was no intent. And Fraser's saying, hey, I had to call it. I didn't want to call it. Creighton didn't want to do it. And of course, Fleury didn't want to have it done to him. That's the rule. Fraser enforced it. Creighton's gone.
Well, we sincerely hope that that injury to Theron Fleury is not serious. He appeared to be in a great deal of pain as he went down to the ice. Stick coming right up in the eye. McKinnon firing it in. Manson plays it around the boards. Troy Murray deflects it down the ice.
Well, this could very well be the game. There's 7:30 left in period 2. Hawks are very much in it at 1-0, but they have to kill a long 5-minute penalty now.
McKinnon leads the attack. Over to Mullen. Mullen trying to get it back to the point. Knocked down by Chicago, and Murray gets it out of the zone.
The Hawks penalty killing has been better tonight than any other night of this round, and they're called upon to perform a big job on this one.
Otto is taken off the puck. Larmer is bumped back to the goal by Newendijk. Mullen digs it out for Lode. He fans on the shot, and Manson gets it ahead to Dirk Graham. He's coming out with Larmer. Dirk Graham trying to go around Ramage. Took a shot and went off Ramage's stick. Back comes Mullen. He's leading a 4-on-3. Stopped at the line. It's offside as it's brought in by Lode. 3:51 remains in that 5-minute major to Adam Creighton. You see the portion of the mask being worn by Joe Newendijk to protect that cut tongue, 7 stitches in the tongue. That is the lower portion of an eye-tech mask, the full facial mask that many of the juniors wear. And he has had the equipment staff take off the top portion of the mask, and he has the lower portion to protect his jaw and his mouth.
What he's trying to guard against here is just a bump or a scrape. Somebody's shoulder, the glass. You can imagine how painful it would be. And Joe Nieuwendyk has not let that nasty cut bother his play one bit. Monday night ornament.
He has the only goal of the hockey game. McCrimmon being chased back in his own zone. Gilbert was after him. He was upset, and here comes Calgary for Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk turns, backhand pass, deflected to the line. McCrimmon keeps it in. Behind the net, Lou picks it up to the point for Merzen. Merzen lets the shot go. It's deflected just wide. Along the boards, it comes loose out to the line to McCrimmon. His shot is blocked, and the Hawks fire it down the ice.
The Hawks are very determined to get themselves out of this hole.
Merzen, as he brought it in, is bumped by Roenick, and it's an offside call against Calgary.
Now, don't forget, Calgary's power play has Ramage, has McInnes, or Fleury. Two of those three on the point. Well, obviously, with Fleury hurt, they can't use him, so you see Dana Mercer getting a chance on the power play. A lot of times on a 5-minute power play, it's difficult to get your team to come up with the intensity you need, and the intensity you usually get in a 2-minute one. And as a result, those minutes tick by, and you don't get the results that you think you can get when you see you have a major penalty at your advantage.
Chevrier stops it behind the net for Manson, and he's able to clear it. They missed the creativity of Fleury back on the point on the power play. Gilmore tried to slip it ahead to Mullen. He gets it back again, looking in front for Otto. Otto couldn't deflect it the first time. He spun around in the backhand and couldn't get it up over Chevrier.
Chevrier had to make 3 saves, one right after another. None of them tough ones, but all of them when he was down. And this score could easily have been increased to 2-0. It's a 2-on-1. Gilmore gets it over. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Let's have another look at this close opportunity for the Flames. 1, 2, 3.
2:38 left in the power play. 26 shots on goal by the Calgary Flames to 12 for the Blackhawks. Joel Otto has been frustrated time and time again by Chevrier throughout this series.
Joel Otto has yet to get a point in this series. And in the 2 other series before this, he had 10 points.
Hudson against Otto. The draw goes to the board. Gilmore back to the line to McInnes. Gilmore gets it again. He looks to McInnes. Back to Gilmore. Gilmore cross ice to Ramage. Ramage for Gilmore. Over to Mullen. Mullen trying to get a shot away. The puck bounces in front of the net, and Hudson picks it up. Hudson along the boards, slips it ahead to Troy Murray. He's coming down on Al McInnes. McInnes ties him up. The puck is loose. Troy Murray, even though he's down on the ice, was able to check Doug Gilmore. McInnes over to Ramage. Into Lou. Lou with a long shot wide. Banged off the boards, but not out. Ramage keeps it in. His shot goes wide. Conroy this time will get it up.
Well, the Hawk penalty killers have done a job here, and that intensity that's so obvious on most Calgary power plays seems to be missing on this long one.
1:42 remaining in the penalty. Here comes Nieuwendyk. He's stopped at the line by Manson, and Manson puts it down into the Calgary zone.
Calgary's falling into the trap also on the power play of trying to do it a little too much individually and not enough, taking advantage of the fact they have 5 skaters against 4.
Well, the fans are starting to get on Calgary.
Many of them play on power plays, as we all know.
Pass ahead to Lube. Lube is creative. He leaves it for McInnes. The shot right on. And Chevrier makes the save. McInnes has a consecutive game scoring streak going on 10 games. He did not draw an assist in the only goal of the hockey game, but he was trying desperately there to make it a 2-0 Calgary lead.
He gets a good shot right from exactly where he scored from in overtime. This time Chevrier says no. And the Hawks are 106 away from killing the major penalty to Adam Creighton for high sticking Fleury, who we understand is being stitched in the Calgary dressing room now, and no word as to whether there's any damage to his eye. The percentages are low that his eye will be hurt, and high that he'll be cut above it or below it.
Otto against Hudson again. To the left of Chevrier. 1:06 left in the penalty to Creighton. 3:49 in the period. Manson in the corner gets it out to Graham. Graham waiting for Hudson to catch up with it. Fired in for Hudson, but Vernon got there first.
We just have word that Fleury's cut is above the eye. So there's no worry like we thought. It might be the eye, and he'll be back, I'm sure. It's a tough little bird.
Here's Ramage from the line at the side of the net for Gilmore in front for Mullen. He couldn't convert it. Mullen for Otto. He tried to center it. It deflects high. Kept in by Ramage. Behind the net, Otto has it. For Mullen. He tried to slip it back to the point to McCrimmon. Broken up by Graham. Graham with the shot. Hit the side of the net.
The Hawks have done a nice job stopping the cross-ice passes by the Flames. They've only scored one goal. That one by Gilmore in the last game.
McClellan back to the point to McCrimmon. His shot gloved and held by Chevrier with 9 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, the good news is the Hawks are nearly out of the woods on the penalty. The bad news is that their top offensive players spend a lot of time killing the penalty, and that's what happened to them on Monday night in Chicago. There's the save, and I think Chevrier knew that puck was wide, but he wanted a whistle. And goalies, of course, know the situation. They've had guys out there a long time killing it, and a whistle is a welcome move by all. You know, there of the 4 teams still playing in the National League playoffs, 3 of them are coached by coaches who are coaching that team for the first year. Terry Crisp here in Calgary for the second. I wonder if with the success they're having, I wonder if it means there will be more coaches coaching their team for the first year next year in the National Hockey League. Trends are big, you know, in the National League.
Well, there is going to be at least one change down in Los Angeles. Robbie Fatorik has been let go.
There'll be more than one, I'm afraid.
9 seconds remaining in the penalty. That 5-minute major to Creighton. Blackhawks, an effective job of penalty killing. McClellan back of the net, trying to get it out front. He's being tied up there by Conroy. Troy Murray is there to help out, and the penalized player is back. Thomas comes out with Roenick. Long shot. That's gloved by Vernon. He shovels it off to McCowan, who moves it out of the zone. Roberts flips it in. Going back after it is Conroy. Chevrier came out of the net to step into Tim Hunter, who was racing in. Here's a lead pass for Conroy. His weak shot dribbles to the goal. Vernon plays it up along the boards for Tim Hunter. Hunter shoots it in. Left behind the net by Chevrier. And there's going to be a penalty here as Chevrier was tripped up. So with 2:06 left in the period, Chicago will have a power play.
Of course, the Hawks have had 7 minutes of the 18 killing penalties out.
And now it's Calgary's turn to kill off a penalty. Chicago power play at 7%. Roenick over to Manson. Manson almost lost it to the forechecking of Otto, but Chicago manages to get it in. McCowan bangs it around the boards. Manson manages to keep it in. Now it comes out to the line and out. Pass intercepted by Natras. Natras in with Patterson. Natras decides simply to dump it to the corner. Manson is back. Larmer firing it in. McCrimmon gets there first. He tried to clear, but it went directly into the Chicago bench.
On the Chicago shoot-ins, the Calgary forwards and defensemen are really blocking the Chicago forwards from going and getting the shoot-in, and as a result, Vernon gets it or the Calgary defensemen get it. Keenan's really upset with Fraser. He thought there should have been another penalty called. But to no avail. 1:20 left, 1:14 in the penalty for Gary Roberts.
1-0. The Flames leading on a first period goal by Joel Newendike. That goal coming at 7:29. Hudson is taking most of the face-offs for the Blackhawks. Joel Otto taking most of them for the Flames.
Hudson's a good young face-off man. When he gets a little more experience in this league, he should improve at this skill, and he's already pretty good at it.
He gets it back to Keith Brown. Brown in for Thomas. Thomas into the corner. Hudson centers and he scores!
Now on that play, Mike Vernon knew that the Hawks had a 2-on-1 in front of the net because Rob Ramage came way out to the top of the circle, and Vernon was trying to deflect the pass from behind the net and deflected it back in through his legs. Now watch how far out 55 Ramage comes. Now the puck gets down deep in the zone, and it's a 2-on-1 right here. You can see Hudson trying to get it to the Hawk forward. He didn't. Vernon trying to block the pass, put it in his own net.
Hudson won the draw initially from Joel Otto. The importance of getting that face-off. Got it back to the point to Keith Brown. And as you saw, the centering attempt deflecting off Vernon. A power play goal, the first of the playoffs for Hudson. It comes at 18:48.
The other thing Hudson did, Don, was after he won the draw, he prevented Otto from getting out to the point.
Hudson tried to move it back to the point, but Manson intercepted by the Flames. Patterson is stopped at the blue line. 52 seconds remaining in the period. Graham racing in after it. Graham taken in against the boards by McCrimmon. Vincelette has the puck. He leaves it behind the net. Ramage is there for Calgary. He plays it up high on the glass. Vincelette managed to keep it in. Calgary trying to come out the other side. Banged off the boards too far for Joe Mullen. Gebrier flips it up along the dasher. And then it's flipped out, but it hits the linesman, Bob Hodges, on the back of the head as the Chicago Blackhawks try and get it out of the zone.
And you can see Hodges hasn't got any kind of a helmet, let alone a hairy one or a plastic one. There's Fleury back, and you can see where the cut was. Luckily for everyone, over his eye.
Well, none of the officials tonight are wearing protective helmets. Don Koharski was very fortunate in Game 3 in Chicago that he was wearing one.
Absolutely. Vanity. What a powerful force even in the National League.
Just 18 seconds remaining in the period. Chicago Blackhawks finally ending their drought on the power play to tie it at 18:48. Newendike centering it. Loeb was tied up in front of the net. And Sutter brings it out of the zone. Then he takes a hit along the boards from Roberts. Now Roberts and Brown exchange words, but the linesman quickly intervened.
If you ask Mike Keenan whether he would like to play a 20-minute game to see whether his team can play a home game Friday night in Chicago, he'd have said, scrap those first two periods. We'll take our chances in a short game. And he's got just that.
Only one goal in the second period. A late goal on the power play by Mike Hudson. Thomas and Brown draw the assists. The Flames with a big edge in shots on goal, but it's all even here at the Saddledome. And so the score after 2 periods of play is Calgary 1, Chicago 1.
On this series in period, 4 third periods plus the overtime, Calgary has outscored the Chicago team 4-0.
Vincelette picks up the pass, gets it to Graham, a shot that goes wide. Back of the net. McCowan for Lou. To Roberts. Roberts stopped at the line. Hudson gets it out of the zone. Johnny moves it ahead to Vincelette. He fires it in, and the Hawks make a quick change.
Well, certainly the Hawks have an emotional advantage that they haven't enjoyed tonight with that late goal in the second period. It'll be interesting to see whether they can turn it into anything.
Conroy flipped it for the net. Goes wide. Murray with a shot. That's wide. Back to the point. Conroy fires it in behind the net. Thomas is tied up. It's loose along the boards. Conroy pinching in from the point. Manages to keep it in. But now the Flames move it ahead to Newendike. Newendike drives it down into the Chicago zone.
We haven't seen the Chicago five-man forecheck very often. That is where you see the defenseman pinch. Conroy did it then, and they got away with it.
Manson is stripped of the puck. Otto goes back to the net, tries the wraparound. The puck is loose. And the net is knocked off its supports. While Manson had it taken away by Joel Otto, and he very nearly put the Flames ahead on a wraparound attempt.
Manson's been a little careless tonight with the puck, and here's another example right here. You've got to move it in a hurry when you get it in your own zone, and it's a race across the net now. Otto coming behind, Chevrier in front of him. Chevrier wins this race. Here's the giveaway here. Pretty nonchalant, boy, in a 1-1 game when your team's eliminated if you lose.
It was the veteran Lanny McDonald who actually knocked Manson off the puck with Otto picking it up. Face off to the left of Chevrier. Hudson in that face-off circle wins the draw again, and out comes Dirk Graham. He fires it in. Hudson can't get to it as McInnes is back first. Played to an open wing by Poplinski. Yanni chops it for Vincelette. He goes rink wide for Hudson. It's fired in offside. This program is copyrighted strictly for the private use of our viewing audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of Molson Brewery and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
Mike Keenan rarely shows much emotion behind the bench, except when he's upset with how his players play. Doesn't get on the referees very often. Doesn't talk to the other team very often. He rarely gets in any verbal battles with the other coach. But every player will tell you that he's the best in the league at tearing a strip off you if you've made a bad play and has to come and sit in front of him.
Conroy tries to move it out. Blocked by McClellan. Thomas is stopped along the boards. Fleury has control of it. Fakes the shot, then he's knocked down. Puck goes in against the boards. Fleury is hurt again. McClellan back to the net. Out front. Fleury has lost a stick, kicks it towards the goal. It's picked up by Thomas.
Fleury was playing a little possum there, I think, when he was knocked over, because when he got up, he was really dancing. And now he fakes swinging his stick at the Chicago bench, and specifically Bob McGill.
Tonight's game is coming to you from Calgary. In the face-off circle against Gilmore. Gilmore ties him up, and McCowan comes out with the puck. He fires it in. Chevrier plays it around the boards. Armour can't get out against Patterson. Yanni loses it. Gilmore couldn't center it. Gilmore, backhand shot. Chevrier has it between his pads in that mad scramble in front of the net. .17:22 remaining in the third. The score is tied at 1. This Saddledome is alive right now. Hudson wins the draw, and the Blackhawks fire down the ice.
Chicago Blackhawks have killed 5 straight penalties here against the Flames, one of them 5 minutes long. So it's one of the reasons they're in the hockey game at the moment.
Gilmore stopped at the line by Manson. Troy Murray almost picked that up in the neutral zone to go in one-on-one against Al McInnes. Flipped in for Gilmore. Manson gets it again, off the glass and out.
Chicago, I think they're not thinking about the shorthanded goal. They got 32 of them this year, and I think it's a good move. They're just trying to kill the penalty and get it down the ice. Never mind looking for a guy in a red shirt.
Fleury hammers it in. McInnes at the point. Flips it around the boards. Larmer will get to it. He'll get it out to Dirk Graham, and he helps the puck travel the full length of the ice back into the Calgary zone. Graham picks it up in the neutral zone. He flips it back into Calgary territory.
Mike Keenan gets 4 sets of forwards out to kill the penalty, and that takes a disciplined team and a wide-awake coach.
Again, the The Hawks clear the zone. McCrimmon back into his own zone to try and set something up with it around it. Rink wide pass off the boards. Fired down the ice by the Hawks. Just 28 seconds remaining in the penalty to Yanni. Here comes McCrimmon. Ahead to Gilmore. Long shot, gloved by Chevrier. Vincelette gets it out of the zone.
Calgary are forced to shoot the puck in on the power play rush and are very slow getting it to it.
Lou brings it in. 3 seconds left in the penalty. Back to Ramage. He goes cross ice to McCrimmon. Here's the shot. Chevrier knocks it down and falls on top of it at the side of the net. And the penalty to Yanni is over with 15:19 remaining in the third period. McCowan with a shot right on. Big rebound. Natras racing in. Gives it over to McClellan. His backhander goes wide. Hunter spins around and lets the shot go. Broken up by Manson. Manson fires it in. Vincelette trying to pick it up. It comes back to Hudson. A backhand almost went off a skate and into the net.
Steve Thomas went into the net, but the puck didn't.
Here comes Fleury. Long shot off a leg. He takes a hit. And the play is whistled down as Vincelette crashes in against the boards with Tim Hunter. A penalty is being called, one against each side with 14:47 remaining. Roenick moves in now against Otto. Otto ties him up. The puck comes to Natras. Natras lets the shot go. Scores!
Tips a point shot in by Natras on a very harmless-looking start. Now you got to watch where McClellan comes from. He's the left winger. Nobody takes him. Steve Conroy is too soft on him, and he just tips it between the legs of Chevrier to give his team a 1-0 lead with 14:39 to go in the third period.
What a big goal that could be. Natras drawing the assist as McClellan tipped in the shot from the point. On that face-off, Otto tied up Roenick. The puck deflected up and hit one of the linesmen and bounced over to the Calgary player.
We'll have a look at it right here. Roenick and Otto do a nice job. You got to give Natras credit for jumping in, but Steve Conroy has to be tougher than that on McClellan. And in a nutshell, that's what cost him that goal. It was tipped down as Chevrier was just about to catch it.
Natras chases back after it. The net is knocked off its supports. Hudson was taken in by McCowan, and he collided with the goal and Mike Vernon. Hudson scoring the only goal for the Chicago Blackhawks at 18:48 of the second period on the power play.
Well, when Hudson grows up to be as strong as he is tall, which will happen to a young guy like Hudson, he's going to be a pretty good player. Look at him here trying to barge to the net right over top of McCowan, who lands on Vernon, who lands on the net. That's the reason for the whistle.
See the sign behind Terry Crisp. When we win, I'll kiss my own wife. Rumor has it that the ladies sitting behind the Calgary bench were offering to give their tickets away for tonight's game just in case Terry Crisp did what he did in Chicago. Otto and Natras drawing assists on the goal by McClellan. Donnie unable to keep it in. He does flip it into the Calgary zone, resulting in a whistle.
On the shoot-ins, when the players are trapped, like the Hawk players were there, if the goalie touches the puck, they blow the whistle right away. They don't under those circumstances give the Chicago forwards a chance to clear the zone. And The reason, of course, is if they don't blow the whistle when it hits the goalie, if it ever hit him and went in, you'd have to count the goal and it would be offside.
.14:20 is the time left. 2-1. Calgary leads. McCrimmon to Ramage. Fired in by Roenick. Roberts bangs it off the boards. Roenick racing back after it, being chased by Nieuwendyk. Roenick got there first for an icing call against Calgary.
And you can see that Mike Keenan has alerted his defensemen that if you think it's a good gamble to pinch, go ahead and do it. They cannot sit on a deficit for very much longer, although they have to make sharp decisions on whether to pinch or not. They know how to do that. That's one thing that Keenan thought his team would do very well, because they did it against Detroit and St. Louis with Sportcheck. But they've had spurts of it against Calgary, but they haven't really been as effective as you'd like. A handful of ice, then on with the game.
Joel Otto is taking almost every face-off for the Calgary Flames. This time he'll be opposed by Denny Savard. 35-15, the shots on goal in favor of Calgary. Savard gets the draw, back to Conroy, over to Brown. There's the shot. It goes off the skate, is picked up by Muller. He gets it out to Otto.
The Hawks
Otto fires it in and then takes a hit right in front of that bench. Van Gorp ran into him right in front of the Chicago bench.
The Hawks are doing a nice job after they win the faceoff, blocking out the Calgary forwards and getting to the point. And a nice point shot there that never got to the net, but there were a lot of people in front of the goal.
Hudson takes that lead pass from Brown. Hudson centers it. Hit the side of the net. Thomas couldn't control it. Patterson fires it too far for Gilmore. Here comes Graham in across the line with Hudson. Hudson trying to center it. It's kicked out by Vernon. Yanni got turned around at the line, couldn't keep it in. Murray has his pass intercepted by Nieuwendyk. They hit the ball on the shot. Just wide. Larmer back for Chicago to Roenick. Roenick stopped by Dana Merzen. Merzen fires it out.
Well, the Flames are in a semi-prevent defense here, and it's a long time to kill off over 12 minutes.
Brown couldn't get out of the zone against Hunter. Hunter bumps the Chicago player Larmer behind the net. The Hawks get it out, but Calgary fires it right back in, and now Calgary makes a change. Conroy to head to Brown. Gilbert racing after it. Natras gets there first. Otto and Murray bump along the boards. Luke manages to clear the zone. Going back after it is Murray. This is an icing call against Calgary. 12:03 is the time remaining in the period. Draw is taken by Natras. Natras fires it in. Yanni goes back after it. Around the boards. Van Gorp got it out. Murray puts it back in. Now Manson tries to play it over on the wing. It's broken up at the line, but it's offside. Chicago.
Well, Rick Natras, this is the best game I've seen him play, and he's played some good ones in this series. And the Calgary defense, I mean, they have allowed 8 goals in this series. Vernon's been good in the nets. He hasn't been busy very often. And one of the reasons is that his defense has done a nice job. And Joel Otto looks like a man possessed here in the third period. Every faceoff, before he takes the draw, he stares the other center down.
Blue working against Gilbert, puts it to the corner. Back after it is Conroy. For Roenick. Roenick flips it wide of the Calgary net. Ramage trying to get back there. Played up along the boards, but kept in by Brown. McCrimmon tries to move it up. He got it to Fleury. Fleury comes in across the line for Loeb. His shot kicked to the corner by Chevrier. Roanoke having trouble against McClellan. McClellan still controlling it. Centers it. Gilmore flipped it right into the pads of Chevrier. Here's McCrimmon with his shot. It bounces high. Loeb flips it wide. And Gilbert relieves the pressure by firing it down the ice.
Well, you know the next goal by the Flames will be the end for the Hawks, and Gilmore missed a great chance on that one. Watch Gilmore come into your picture here as 3 Hawks go after 2 Flames. McClellan finds him. Chevrier finds the puck. Gilmore almost got the rebound, but kind of fanned on it. The Hawks were lucky, and Hook and Loeb had a good chance there. The puck was bouncing, and on his backhand, he only got the bottom half of the puck.
Chevrier has faced 38 shots so far in the game. Neuendijk gets the draw back to Roberts. He was looking to the point, but couldn't get it there. Behind the net for Manson. Manson, checked by Neuendijk, almost lost it. Ahead to Vincelette. He shoots it in. Roberts races into the corner against Hudson. And a whistle goes as referee Kerry Fraser rules that it was hit with a high stick with 10:16 remaining in the third. Enjoying the action that they have witnessed so far at the Saddle Dome. And they'd like to finish the evening with a celebration here in Calgary. And on to the Stanley Cup against either Montreal or Philadelphia. Merzen being bothered along the boards by Graham, but he does get it out.
Otto comes on to take every draw, and he's functioning at about the 75% mark on wins versus losses at the moment.
Conroy to Van Dorp. He's checked by Loeb. Conroy tries again. Ahead to Graham. Graham is spilled by McInnes. Van Dorp and Merzen race into the corner. Savard is hammered in against the boards by Fleury. Fleury, 5'5", or maybe 5'6", 155 pounds, does throw his weight around.
Well, here's the guy that has to do something for the Hawks. The Flames have paid very special attention to him, but how many times in the past has he got them a big goal, either scoring himself or setting it up? And that's exactly what his teammates are hoping right now. He's quite capable of turning a normal rush into a spectacular goal.
Jacques Martin, the assistant coach, in the box with Mike Keenan. Jay McGuire upstairs, relaying information to the assistant, who passes on the words of advice to the head man, Keenan.
Can't understand why the Hawks don't put why they don't put 2 centers out there and try to cheat, hoping they'll throw Otto and the original center out and come back in with another one, because Otto's killing him on the draw.
Savard having some problems getting out against the forechecking of Gilmore. Calgary has done a most effective job. They're always bumping Denny Savard. They don't give him any skating room. Yanni tries to get some skating room. He falls. His pass, intended for Gilbert, broken up by Calgary. Fired in. Larmer comes back. He gets it over on the right side to Brown. Brown centering it. Vernon had to react quickly to steer that to the corner. And there's a penalty coming up here against Jamie McCowan.
Boy, 8:49 to go. Here's the Hawks' chance, but the Flame penalty killing has been excellent. And
on their initial attempt with the man advantage, It's broken up and fired down the ice by Brad McCrimmon. Boy, a rather careless pass in their own zone by the Hawks. And this will be an icing call.
Well, it went through the crease, Don.
Oh, as it came out. Hudson almost got Chicago back on even terms.
Well, everybody in the rink, including Vernon, I think, thought it was icing. But it went through the crease, and the rule says if it does, the icing is waved off. Vernon had to make a big save on Hudson at the last second.
Newendijk bangs it off the boards and down the ice. Calgary is winning the race to the puck and all the shoot-ins by Chicago.
Well, the Calgary depth, you know, they've played 4 lines pretty well through all these games. The Hawks haven't had that luxury, and in every third period, the Hawks seem to wilt. And tonight has been no exception, although there's plenty of time left here for 1 goal.
55 seconds left in the power play. Here comes Rowan. He flips it in. Mattress can't get it out. However, Mullen succeeds.
Well, the Hawks who have scored a power play goal, you'd never know it by watching this attempt at the power play, but it's not quite over yet. 32 seconds left.
Here comes Savard. Savard was looking for Murray. It was broken up at the line by McInnes. He's played another strong game. Larmer on the right side. Savard was offside.
Well, Denny Savard hasn't skated the way he usually does. I have to think his ankle's a little sore. He hasn't pulled away from anybody in this whole series, and he was offside on that play and arguing about it slightly. Mike Vernon has had but 19 shots, but when the next shot may tie the game, doesn't matter how many you've had. It's what are you going to do with the next one? Here's that icing debatable call that we talked about. McCrimmon throws it right to Vernon, and you can see how far back in the net Vernon was. He wasn't ready for the shot from Hudson, but he stopped it anyway. Here's another look at it. Now, this looks like an icing, but see it go through the edge of the circular crease. And McCrimmon, I think, thought it was icing. And was just tossing it back up to the linesman.
20 seconds remaining in the penalty. 7:09, the time left in the third. Patterson from the faceoff, trying to split the defense. Yanni managed to get back and knock him down and the puck away from him at the same time. Larmer drives it in. Mattress touches it, and this is another icing call against Chicago with just 6 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, Steve Larmer must have thought that the far winger could beat the Calgary defenseman to the puck, because that was an icing by 15 feet in front of the red line. Larmer was wrong in that decision, and as a result, face-off is back in the Hawks zone. 6 seconds left in the penalty, 6:55 left in the game.
Face-off to the left of Alan Chevrier. He has had to contend with 38 Calgary shots in tonight's hockey game.
Well, we said at the top, Don, that for Chicago to have any chance to win, Chevrier had to be great, and he has been.
Very crisp in talking about how he reacts emotionally. Says that every coach after a game should be allowed 30 seconds of uncontrolled emotion.
I was worried about his health when he was straddling the glass there in Chicago, but he came out of it unscathed.
A roar of appreciation from the crowd for the final attempt, yelling. Here's Graham with a shot right on. Gilmore deflects it along the boards. Mullen races after it. Mullen trying to go around. Yanni shovels it to the net. And as he slides into Chevrier, the net is knocked off its supports.
You see Joe Mullen giving the nod to the Calgary defenseman, Trent Yanni, and to the goaltender, Chevrier, that he's all right. Because as you see, when he tries to cut from the net, Yanni knocks him down and then slides into him. There's a pile of bodies in the net. The puck's behind the net. Here comes Mullen again. He's quick. He gets the puck past him, but he can't get the rest of them past him. Chevrier had no idea where the puck was as he was trying to stop Joe Mullen.
6:29 now, the time remaining. Calgary holding a 1-goal lead. Fleury in that face-off circle against Troy Murray. Back to the line, a long shot right on. Chevrier is forced to make the save, but Primmon let it go from the point.
Calgary coaching staff will be telling the Calgary players, keep the puck in front of you in the neutral zone or in the Chicago zone. Don't center it from behind the Chicago net, hoping we got a man there. And don't try and throw it across the whole ring in case it's intercepted. Keep it going toward their net.
Doug Risebrow on the headset talking to Tom Watt, the other assistant coach upstairs. The two Calgary assistants alternate from game to game, being upstairs and downstairs. Keith Brown gets it ahead to Hudson. Hudson shovels it through for Rowan. Rowan couldn't get around Ramey. Puck comes to McClellan, and he simply plays it off the boards and out. Fired in. Rowan couldn't poke it past Ramey. McClellan leaves it there for Lou. Lou looking wing wide for Fleury. He was tied up by Rowan, and the two go in against the boards. Now Thomas starts back with Savard. Thomas trying to go around McInnes. The puck slides to the goal. Vernon was out of there to play it to the board. Farmer gives it to Savard. Savard trying to shovel it out front, broken up by McClellan. Natras moves it ahead to Gilmore, and Gilmore flips it down the ice with Manson going back after it. 5:30 remaining in the game.
One man forechecking, that's all, and the other four Calgary Flames wait in the neutral zone for the ensuing rush.
And the rush this time is led by Troy Murray. He can't get around McInnes. Natras has the puck up along the boards. Gilbert kept it in. Natras will try to get it out again. Again knocked down by Gilbert. Gilbert to Graham. And Graham tried to center it for Murray, racing in from the point, and it bounced over his stick.
Natras threw the puck up the boards in the air and thought he was safe, but it was knocked out of the air by the Hawk player, and they nearly got a not scoring opportunity out of it.
McCowan flips it in. Chevrier leaves it back of the net. Picked up by Hudson. Hudson lost control of it. Unfortunately for the Blackhawks, Conroy was following the play. His dump in is broken up at the line by McCrimmon. Brown circling to get away from Roberts. On the right side, Hudson couldn't control it. Roberts flips it to the line. Yanni has it. For Vincelette, too far for him. Going back after it is McCrimmon. 4:10 remaining in the third. Roberts looking for Tim Hunter. He bangs it back into the Chicago zone. Hansen leaves it on the boards for Rowan. Rowan plays it ahead to Thomas. He was looking for Van Gorp. Play broken up in the neutral zone. The Hawks try again. Thomas stopped at the line.
Most of the time, the Hawks, it's one against at least two, and sometimes three at the Calgary blue line.
Savard stopped by Gilmore. Here's a 2-on-1. McClellan catching up with the play as well. He's tied up. Tried to spin around and get a shot. Couldn't. Ramey keeps it in. Savard in the corner. Leaves it there for Conroy. Back to Savard. He overskated it. Now he gets it ahead to Keith Brown. Brown drives it in. Patterson goes back after it. He leaves it in the corner for McInnes. 3:09 left in the third. McInnes gets it out of the zone. Nieuwendyk has it. Nieuwendyk going for the net. Shoots, scores!
Joe Nieuwendyk, the masked marvel, gets the second goal of the night. He dekes Manson there, Then he pulls it by Brown. Then he shoots it by Chevrier. Chevrier thought he should have had it. I hope Manson and Brown thought they should have had it because they gave him the opportunity. And this game is all but over. And Terry Crispen's going to do a little dance for us right here. Not over the glass yet, but he's thinking about it.
Yes, the kissing bandit may strike again. Joe Nieuwendyk opened the scoring tonight. He may very well finish the scoring and finish the Chicago Blackhawks for this season. Roberts centering it. It's knocked away. Another shot from the point by Natras goes wide. Kept in by McCollum. Chevrier out of the net to leave it there for Manson. 2:33 remaining. McInnes and Patterson draw the assists in the goal. So the point-scoring streak of Al McInnes stays alive at 11 games. Dirk Graham fired it wide.
I think this is as well as I've seen Calgary play, or any team play for that matter. After they got the lead, they played strong defensively and haven't sacrificed their offense completely.
Dirk Graham tried to go for the net from that face-off. Prevented from doing so by Ramage, and McInnes moves it out into the neutral zone. Although they have the man advantage, I don't think you'll see the Flames taking any chances here. Graham for Larmer. Larmer trying to get around Ramage. He can't take the puck with him. Broken up by McInnes and fired in offside by Chicago with 1:46 remaining in the game.
Well, the fans are singing goodbye to the Hawks with 1:46 to go. And there's Chris. He still doesn't think he's got it for sure. And the Calgary Flames, although they had all they wanted from this Chicago team, I think are going to win this series because, one, they've given up 8 goals in 5 games. They've allowed 3 goals in 30 power play opportunities. And in the third period, they've outscored the opposition 6-0, probably due to the depth and the fact that they use everybody on the bench in every game.
Going back after it is Trent Yanni. He gets it ahead to Hudson. Over to Savard. Savard in across the line. Savard for Manson. Vernon makes the save. That's the type of play the Blackhawks have been looking for from Savard. Chevrier is heading to the bench as the puck is held against the side of the net, and there's a penalty coming up. With 1:11 remaining, Manson is going on.
Dave Manson gets a slashing penalty, a retaliation call. But this game's over, and that penalty's not going to mean anything as far as the Hawks are concerned. Manson has gone a long way this year at controlling his temper. He still has a ways to go. And when he does, but you don't want him to control it completely. You want him, the other team to think that he could lose his temper at any minute. And so that's the dicey little game that Mike Keenan's playing with his good young defenseman, David Manson.
So it's 5 skaters against 3. 2 Chicago Blackhawks in the penalty box with 1:11 remaining in the game. Natras over to McCollum. Back to Natras. Ahead to Gilmore. For Mullen. Mullen was looking for Patterson. It's broken up by Chicago. We're into the final minute. Gilmore to McCollum. Over to Natras. For Mullen. He can't get in. Larmer in the center ice area was looking for Conroy. It was behind him. Here comes Mullen with Gilmore. He just failed to deflect it. Patterson back to the line for McCollum. To Patterson. To McCollum. Over to Natras. It bounces off his stick and out into the center ice area. 26 seconds remaining. And this roar from the Calgary crowd will be deafening right until the end of the game. They're all standing now. And the countdown begins. 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Province left. And for the 8th year in a row, there will be a team in the Stanley Cup Final from the Smythe Division. And 4 times before has that team won the Stanley Cup. The Calgary Flames, who finished first overall, prove that they're at least second overall in the playoffs and have a chance to be first there too.
I think some of these fans were slightly apprehensive after 40 minutes of play, feeling perhaps that the Flames have squandered many good scoring opportunities through the first 2 periods. But Joe Newendike put the capper on it after McClellan's tip-in. And the Campbell Conference Bowl will be presented to the Calgary Flames.